Raid Shadow Legends!
Welcome back to On the Shelf Gaming, the only show on the internet not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Raid, if you want to give us a bunch of money,
we'll do it. We don't care.
Yeah, everyone knows your product is garbage, so...
Yeah, there's no amount of us giving you a sponsorship is gonna fucking save your show.
Man. I'm glad I don't have a Raider gimmick for my pro wrestling gimmick.
Yeah, it was cool when they, like, debuted, because they were just, like, fresh, because, like, there was nothing... Like, NXT was getting almost too cutting edge. There was, like, nothing classic wrestling about it.
Right.
And so, like, they brought in a refreshing, like, oh, no, this feels like old school wrestling, a fucking Viking gimmick. But now it's getting old, and I think they desperately need a new fucking thing. Because they're good. They're really good in the ring. I just don't think the Viking thing is doing it for anybody anymore.
Right.
Not just team Theory, he would be great to have in War Games. Well, Theory isn't just a talented athlete, he's smart.
I don't know. If not Viking, then what else could these guys be? Because they do have a very particular look about them.
Right.
That makes the Viking gimmick work.
I mean, that's true. I don't know. I mean, they could, what if they became corporate Eric and Ivar?
They just fucking come out. Hey, don't you oh, yeah, fuck you.
CRANDON with the fucking equality.
Get shit on, Ivar.
Man. Speaking of equality, I've watched some videos about Konosuba, and for those who don't know, this is not a particularly big Konosuba spoiler. The main character of Konosuba is a guy who one of his things that he says is that something along the lines of he'll hit a woman for equality.
Right. And he doesn't believe in like things like ladies first and blah blah blah.
Right. And there's for the most part, most of the people who I've seen talk about Konosuba, of course, they generally think it's hilarious.
Right.
And they think that joke particularly is funny, but everyone has a different opinion on if it's funny because he's right or if it's funny because he's entirely wrong.
Right.
What is your opinion on that?
Well, let me just go ahead and get this out of the way. I don't think anybody should give anybody a problem, you know? I don't think that men should hit women, and I don't think men should hit men. Because believe it or not, people hitting each other is wrong. And I think I'm willing to die on that hill. But, that being said, I think if you are a dude and a woman is kicking the shit out of you, feel free to pop her just once or you know, like, defend yourself. Don't take that as the opportunity to be like, oh, I've waited my whole fucking life for this opportunity,
right,
and start curb stomping her head into the fucking ground, well past the point of defending yourself. But like, if some fucking girl is beating you up, don't be afraid to fucking, you know, defend yourself.
Nah, for sure. I'm right there with you. Lots of people, because there seems to be two parties to the conversation, and I'm sure there's a little more nuance than this, but most people fall into one of these two. It's exactly what you said. It's okay to fight back against a woman if you're under attack within reason, which is exactly, like, that's literally the law, too.
Yeah, it's the same with dudes.
Right.
You know, if a dude's beating you up, you don't get to suddenly just start stabbing in the fucking throat. Like,
right. If you've defended yourself successfully, you don't keep going, or you're not defending yourself anymore. You're just assaulting someone.
Yeah, now it's assault both ways.
And then there's the other side, which is it doesn't matter if you're being attacked by a woman. You've got to not do anything anyway. And I hear people say that, and they say that like it's obvious. And I know why they say it like it's obvious. Because it's just a common opinion. Lots of people think that. Lots of people were told that,
right,
you know, their
you
whole
don't
lives
hit girls,
growing up.
It's ingrained in everyone's brain.
But it's just also really fucking stupid.
If a girl is hitting you,
you should probably defend yourself. Within reason, again, being the critical part here.
Yeah, please don't take this out of context. Like, no, we here at On the Shelf Gaming support beating women within an inch of their life at the smallest fucking act of aggression. But no, just defend yourself. Because that's the thing about fighting.
Is you really shouldn't do it.
Right.
Just at all, if it's avoidable at all.
I was talking to Elizabeth about something the other day, because we saw a video about this fight with it was this video of a fight that was in a bowling alley where one lady grabbed a bowling ball and hucked it at the side of some chick's head, and fucking bam, she fucking goes down. But, and I was talking, I was like, yeah, that's the thing. It's, you know, like, obviously, hitting someone in the head with a fucking bowling ball is a great way to kill somebody. But so is just fighting.
Well, like, yes, it is possible. It's a lot less likely than throwing a bowling ball at someone's head.
I mean, yes, obviously that was like going for the kill shot. But also, it is just so ungodly easy to kill a person. It's embarrassingly easy for people to be killed just completely on accident.
Oh, yeah. It's really hard to actively kill someone in a fight unless you just are absolutely dominant. It is really easy to do ridiculous damage far beyond what you expect or kill someone by complete fucking accident.
Oh, yeah. Like, just
totally out of your control. I mean, not literally, obviously, because you were engaging in a fight, but
right. Like, just throwing random wilds, you still might clock someone in the fucking throat, and it doesn't take much damage to collapse a windpipe. Or, like, fucking, you know, people will do things that they see in MMA, because they're just like, oh, that's the real fighting, so let me just fucking do this chokehold I saw on TV. And, like, even an incorrectly applied chokehold still chokes a person. But, like, the biggest difference there is it is so easy to fucking kill a guy on accident by putting him in a chokehold. Because the biggest difference between a street fight where you put someone in a chokehold or an MMA fight where someone gets put into a chokehold, in the MMA fight, there is a giant referee standing directly above the other person,
watching for the first sign of an issue,
and ready to rip them off at a moment's notice.
Nah, for sure. Fighting is fucked up, but man, I love it.
Oh, I know. I love watching fighting. I love watching fights in a controlled environment. It's when you see random street fights where I'm like, hey, you should all fuck off and stop doing that.
I know, but there's so much stuff like that. Because, like, not just fighting, basically all sports that involve direct contact, there's also, like, just huge potential for catastrophic things to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, professional wrestling, too, and all sorts of stuff. And, you know, I like that stuff. I don't watch a lot of it all the time. But, like, when I watch pro wrestling, fucking love it. When I watch MMA, you know, it's fucking great. When I watch, even, like, football and stuff, you know, I enjoy it. But also, in a literal sense, if they banned all those things, I'd be like, yeah, that's probably the right call.
I get it.
For the safety of humanity. And I know people are like, well, but they're grown adults. They can make decisions on their own. It's like, well, I mean, sure. Yeah, but also, if you want to play in the NFL, you got to play Pee Wee football.
Right.
Which means you probably started playing football before you were like 10 years old.
Right.
And like, yeah, of course 10-year-olds can want to play football. I wanted to play football when I was 10 years old. But like, that doesn't make it a good idea.
Right, like, there is definitely like a moral like quandary there where it's like, do we literally, you know, as parents, do we control every aspect of our child's life down to the point where they can't even play a game they want to play that thousands of people play around the world every single day, and some of our richest members of society play that game professionally? Do we not let them play it just because they might get a little bit of brain damage?
I know, it's such a hard decision. That really is, because I've thought about it, and of course I don't want kids, so I'm not going to have to actually worry about implementing it.
Right.
But I have thought about that, like, I just don't think I could justify allowing a child to play football if it was my decision.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would have to say no on something like that.
Oh, yeah, well, that was something that came up like on like the Quiet on Set documentary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were asking a lot of these people, because a lot of these people have kids of their own now. And a lot of them are asking, like, hey, so what if your kid wants... What happens when your kid comes to you and says, Daddy, I want to go be an actor. Mommy, I want to go be an actor. And a lot of... Basically, like, a few of them were like, you know, it would need to be heavily controlled by me. And, you know, I would be there at every fucking waking moment. But most of them were just like, fuck no. After everything I experienced, after everything I've been through, and after everything I've seen not get improved in the last 20 years,
right,
there is no fucking way my child is entering Hollywood.
Well, and that's the thing, because it is bad for children specifically. And it's extra bad and it extra sucks when horrible things like that happen to underage actors.
Right.
But the problems and the stuff that has come out with stuff like Quiet on the Set, that is not a child acting specific thing.
Right.
That is just a Hollywood thing. All that same shit happens to grown-ups. It happens to, 10-year-olds. It happens to 20-year-olds. It happens to 40-year-olds, unless you're just super fucking famous.
Right.
Then you eventually, maybe you get past the point where you run into sex predators and they try to be a sex predator to you specifically. Because now you've got power.
Right. You're probably the sex predator now.
Well,
Just saying.
I wasn't going to say that outright, but I mean, it's
I'm
entirely
just saying,
within the realm
bro.
of possibility.
If that Venn diagram were any smaller, it'd be a circle.
Man, I can't believe anyone still goes to Hollywood in the modern day.
Oh, I know. Like, that's where dreams are made of. Like, no, it is so easy to now just make a movie.
I know.
Will you get the budget? No. Will you get the exposure? No. Can you still see success? Absolutely.
Do you know the song Hollywood by Junkyard?
I believe I've heard it.
Yeah, the chorus goes, "That's life in Hollywood."
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So on that song, the first verse of that song, and of course this is a song from, I think it's like the late 80s. And I mean, Hollywood has always been bad.
Right.
But this is a song that got fairly popular, that's still sometimes played on the radio in 2024. It came out getting close to 40 years ago now. The first verse of that song is about a 12-year-old boy going out and being a prostitute on a street corner.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so this song from the 80s has been like, yeah, this is just kind of what Hollywood is.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, like,
And people are still like, oh, yeah, I want to go. I'm going to be a fucking an actor, an actress. I'm going to fucking get it. And, like, everybody knows about, like, casting couches and stuff like that. And it's like, and I don't want to get into the details. I think we've talked about it before, but it just... Getting into particulars is just probably not a good idea for stuff like that. But a while back, when a rather large anime company had some accusations come out of casting couch type behavior, you hear that and it's like, oh, not them too.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, but why would it be any different there than anywhere else in entertainment?
Right.
Like, it's just, and I don't know why. I don't know if getting into a position where you have authority causes you to become an asshole, or if assholes are just good at getting positions of authority, or some combination thereof.
Right.
I mean, actually, in reality, I probably do know almost exactly what it is. The people in charge are shitty right now.
Right.
So the only people who are going to get to be in charge next are the people that they like, that they build up and improve. And those are going to be the kinds of people that first are willing to do what those people say and be taken advantage of, and then ones that are willing to take advantage of other people.
Right.
Because you've got something over them on both of those counts.
Right.
And so you keep control by doing that.
Right.
But man, yeah, no, Hollywood is fucking terrible. You know the story of, I forget who it was, but at an awards show, I think it might have been the Oscars, but maybe it was a different one. But something for movie stars.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy who won an award sent a lady who I don't remember basically any details about, other than that she's some kind of Native American.
Yes, I know the story.
Yeah.
You're talking about Tom Hanks.
Am I?
Yeah, Tom Hanks is the fucking villain of the... If it's the same story we're talking about...
No, it's not the same story. I know for sure, because you just said that Tom Hanks is a villain, and the villain of the story is not him. And also, I'm pretty sure Tom Hanks would have not been famous before this guy was fucking dead. Because the villain of this story is John Wayne.
Oh, you know, that might sound familiar. It was someone I thought it was fucking Tom Hanks.
But they sent this person, and I forget what she said, but basically, America is not perfect.
Right.
Is the gist of it. And John Wayne was ready to walk out on stage and beat this lady up.
Yeah.
At a fucking awards show that I assume was playing live. They play live now.
Right.
So,
Fuck you.
And it's like, what a piece of shit. Not that many people are under the impression that John Wayne was like a great fucking guy.
Right.
In the modern day, that's not anybody I know about. Maybe old people still think he's great. I don't know.
Fuck. I don't know why I thought that was Tom Hanks. I don't know. I think, because I don't remember the names of the people involved in the story. I just remembered it was like a beloved actor, and for some reason Tom Hanks was the one that popped in my brain.
Probably because he's like the stereotypical beloved actor.
Right, that's fair. Yeah, Christopher Titus had a joke about that. He was doing a bit about, like, douchebag credits, where, like, celebrities just do, like, shitty things, but, like, if they have enough douchebag credits, you don't care about it.
Right.
And it's like, he's like, Tom Hanks has the most douchebag credits. If the news reads tomorrow, Tom Hanks punches none, the first thing you're gonna ask is, well, what did that nun do to Tom Hanks?
I mean, honestly, though, that is 100% accurate.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they were like, fucking Tom Hanks, like, fucking Alec Baldwin, bankrupt.
Oh, yeah. No, if the news read Alec Baldwin punches none, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with him? But yeah, when it's Tom Hanks, you're like, what the fuck is wrong with that nun?
God, then they were fucking, he was like, Charlie Sheen cashed all his out in a weekend. Like, he was like, tiger blood,
Yeah, he did. And he didn't have that many to begin with. He's another known piece of shit.
Oh, I know.
And always has been.
Even before all the shit about him, like, really came out and he went fucking ape shit, I've never heard anything good about him.
Right.
Like, the best I could say I've heard about Charlie Sheen is I've heard some people say, oh yeah, he never did anything to me. Like, be like, oh yeah, I dodged a fucking issue with him.
Why would I add Logan?
Best say, he didn't even get in the fucking ring.
By design. And when someone got attacked on the apron by the other guys, it wasn't Logan. They went after an actual threat, kind of.
Sort of.
I mean, they probably should have gone after the actual threat, CRANDON. But, man, we've absolutely eclipsed Bianca Belair.
Oh, I know. It's like, I feel bad, because like, that's a really impressive run, you know, just considering, like, where women's wrestling was at not even, like, 3 years ago.
Right.
Every year, but, I mean, that's the good thing about, like, women's wrestling, I guess, is, like, every year we think, oh, yeah, this is the year the women's revolution truly gets into fucking swing of things, and they're finally considered equals in wrestling. And then the next year happens, and it's like, okay, so no, this is the year it actually starts. Because they always do something that always just eclipses the last year.
True.
Because I think they started booking, like, the women's revolution as a thing back in, like, 2017, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, remember when the internet was like, stop being so shitty to women wrestlers, and then WWE, who was the problem, co-opted the movement of being nice to women wrestlers, and then fucked it up over and over for years still.
Yeah. But no, so, like, I feel bad, because that is, for women's wrestling, and just, like, the sort of, you know, the good shit that they're actually allowed to have, a reign of 400 plus days is really fucking good. So I feel that it's popping up on fucking CRANDON's 1000th, like, day plus.
Well, especially because they kept shooting us Asuka
Yeah.
over and over and over when we were still shorter than Bianca's reign. They could have made it look more impressive, but no. I mean, everybody's pretty well eclipsed by CRANDON now.
Yeah.
Especially since they're not going to put, like, Hogan.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing, is, like, they're clearly just booking us to, like, be up there with Roman. Roman is not the longest reigning guy.
No, not even close.
Back in the fucking 70s and 80s, most people would have, like, multi-year title reigns. Like, it wasn't Hogan at one point, like, 4.5 years or something?
I think so. Well, even, like, Savage, he held it for a full year.
Right. Fucking
Like,
Bruno Sammartino was the original, and didn't he have it for, like, 7 years?
Yeah, something like that. And then he lost it, and he came back later and had it for, like, 2 or 3 more years afterwards.
It's like, these long-ass title reigns don't really matter anymore. They're still impressive in a way, because, I mean, they're not real, but it means, like, hey, WWE likes you for a really long time.
Well, and it's especially interesting because, like, when CM Punk set the quote-unquote record that was not actually a record because it was only, like, the modern-day record that they kept calling it.
Right.
But with that, when you think about it, it's like, man, guys like John Cena and Batista held world championships numerous times, and none of them got to 400 whatever days.
Right.
That's crazy.
Weird.
John Cena was on top of the company forever.
Right.
And he didn't have any, like, 3-year-long championship reigns? That doesn't even make sense.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing with Cena, especially, like, looking back in hindsight, is, like, yes, John Cena did win a lot. And there were definitely times where he shouldn't have won, which I think that's where, like, the lull Cena wins really comes from. But when you break it down, John Cena lost a lot. Like, he dropped that title way more times than he had won it. And I think that's something that's worth, noting. Because, obviously everyone's just like, oh, fucking John Cena was unfair, he buried everybody. And he's like, no, you're just mad that he buried the Nexus that one time, and that wasn't his idea.
I mean, it is on record that he got to book the finish. Like, my understanding is that he didn't decide that his team was going to win, but he did decide how his team was going to win, which was by him steamrolling, like, 3 guys and taking a DDT on the concrete and then coming back.
Okay, yes, admittedly, that part is unfortunate of John.
I can't say anything, because if I was John Cena, I might have booked that same thing. Man, Crandon's probably going to book something like that next time on the Shelf Gaming.
Title screen. Or end screen. Fuck! Start the episode over.
Damn it! Welcome back to On Shelf Gaming, the only show on the internet where we just had to restart the whole episode from scratch. Don't worry, nothing happened. You didn't miss anything in the 20 plus minutes that we recorded.